Hello friends, my name is David. I am coach of the FC Popplio. We have week 7 against Rob Jr., aka Poke TCG Gamer, Gotham Golurks, whatever. So I need to do this quick because I'm heading out soon, and I need to do this quick. So Rob's team, I'm going to pop up right above me now. Cool. As you can see, it's a very scary team. He has a Thunderous Eye this time, as opposed to Thundy T. Now, Seb drafted a beautiful team that just gets 6-0'd by a Thunderous, and while I managed to dodge both of them in terms of being in their conference, I got both of them in my out-of-conference games, so that's exciting. In addition to that, he has very scary threats like Primarina that I don't have a switch into, Roserade, Victini, I also don't have a switch into. Audino is very difficult for me to kill. Mega Sharpedo is a huge problem because my Dark Resist dies to like his Water Stab in rain, so that's pleasant. Plus the Azelf. Azelf is very annoying for my team. Hippo is super hard for me to kill. All sorts of fun stuff. So as you can see, we're gonna go right into the team. Stuff I expected would be Sash Lead Azelf, Thundy Eye, maybe Agility or some sort of setup variant. Maybe Sharpedo, kind of Sharpedo. Audino, Roserade, Hitmonlee, I have no switch-ins to. And then anything really, maybe Shark. He'll probably bring Shark, that makes a lot of sense. So, up first we have our offensive Keldeo. Enough defense to live a Crunch plus a Psychic Fangs after rocks, thanks to the Payapa Berry. Ioko, speed is for Victini. Cool. Moving on. Swampert, Power Up Punch, Waterfall, Earthquake, Stealth Rock. Stealth Rock is just an extra move because I just need Dual Stab and Power Up Punch to sweep his team. Enough speed for Sharp. I think it's Sharpedo. It might be enough speed for Adamant Sharpedo. Maybe not. Who knows? It's really good. It's there to win things, and it's my best win con this game. Up next is Klefki. Spikes, Toxic, Gleam, HP Fire, Spadef for pretty much everything. Just Spikes and Toxic, and hopefully Toxicing the Thunderous. Or yeah, just in general, just doing stuff. HP Fire for the Scizor, of course. Up next is Scarf Pelican. Scarf Pelican's really cool. It outspeeds, it speed ties with Thundy, because Rob doesn't seem like the kind of player who would risk speed ties, so he'll probably go like a modest Agility Thunderous, or a modest Scarf Thunderous. In either case, that outspeeds me anyway, or I outspeed it. Like, there's never going to be a speed tie scenario, but I'll take that speed tie any day of the week. Because Pelican Oko's Thunderous with a Hydro Pump if it's modest. A whole bunch of other stuff. Oko's bulky Roserade, it does a lot of damage in general. Defog in case I get hazarded. Up next is Soft Sand SD Protect. Garchomp Protect to stall out things like Trick Room, to stall out things like Hitmonlee High Jump Kicks, or Hitmonlee Fake Outs, or Azelf Explosions. Just a whole bunch of stuff that I can click Protect on that I would want to. Yeah. Soft Sand because I need it to 2-hit KO Hippowdon, because Hippowdon's kind of annoying. Audino's kind of annoying as well, and if it's Fizz Def, Soft Sand helps with that. None of the other items really mattered. Maybe I could have went like Belt or maybe Yachi, but neither of those I felt would come into play. So up next is Scarf Galv. Scarf Galv is really cool. If he doesn't bring Hippo, which he might not because it's a rain team, Scarf Galv does a lot of work. It's also my Thundy check and all that other good stuff. Enough speed for something. I'm not sure what this speed is for. 345. It might be Adamant something, like a neutral natured something. But anyway, enough about that nonsense. Wow, I was like super leaned in. I didn't even realize that. I'm sorry. Let's hide the team list. Let's hide the team builder and jump right into the match. As you could see, he brought pretty much what I expected. Mega Shark, he brought a Zelf, which I'm thinking is a lead because it's his rocker. Roserade, I don't know what kind of set it is. I'm expecting offensive, but it could be defensive. Audino plus Victini. Audino's probably a wish passer. Maybe it's Trick Room, maybe it's not. He's kind of indifferent about it. Victini, I don't know what kind of set it is. I'm very much expecting a special Victini, like no fire coverage, or like I think it was like Bolt Beam Grass Move was what I was expecting in this matchup. Audino I mentioned, and Thunderous can be anything, most likely Zmon, like with some sort of move. Maybe Scarf or 4 attacks. I was really hoping for 4 attacks, because that also made a lot of sense and it also dicked on my team, but I don't just lose to 4 attacks. So we're gonna start off. He leads his elf, I lead Galvantula. I'm just gonna Bug Buzz because I know any move he can go for, he can't kill me. He's either gonna taunt me to prevent webs, or he's gonna get up rocks on his own. So there's that. As he sets up rocks, he hard switches out into the Thunderous as I Bug Buzz again because I don't want him to boom in my face. And here I was like, alright, if I were him, I would double back into his elf, but I can't risk him like setting up and just going for game here, because if he just like agilities and then plots in my face, he could basically just win here out. And I don't want to deal with that. That's not on my to-do list today. So I hard out into my Klefki, as he does in fact double back out into the Azelf. That leads me to believe that he's not Scarfed and that he doesn't carry Volt Switch or U-turn. Because if he was Scarfed, he would U-turn there, or if he was Volt Switch, he would click it. So back into the Azelf. I can't risk. I double into Pert because this Pert is damp. I don't know if you noticed. So it's immune to the explosion, and not a lot of people really think of damp Pert. Rob might, but I knew for a fact that Rob was either clicking boom, he was either clicking boom or fire blasting or he was like, he was doing, yeah, the only moves that made sense in my mind were attacking me with the super effective move, be it Fire Blast or then exploding. Like, nothing else made sense on the Klefki. If he... you'll see. I switch out into Pert, expecting the boom, pointed stones, and he magic coats. And I don't get why, because I resist the explosion anyway with Klefki, so like, I could have just stayed in if I expected explosion, and there was no way in hell I'm clicking spikes in front of the Azelf. I don't know why I would. Like, I don't know. Like, if I was expecting him to stay in and attack me, either with explosion or with Fire Blast, then I would attack him. Like, even if he exploded and I missed an attack, that's still... I can't risk staying in and eating a Fire Blast and being like, haha, spikes, and sack my Klefki for literally no reason. So I went Pert, and I felt like Rob should know my thought process there. He should know that I have zero reason to click spikes. If I was staying in, I was attacking him. So here I'm just like mind boggled. I'm like, alright, what's his fourth move then? If he's not going to boom, predicting my Pert coming in, he has no reason to Stealth Rocks, and he went for Magic Coat. That leads me to believe that he doesn't have Fire Blast. So, and he probably, he might not have like, E-ball. Maybe he's just maybe he's just 3 attacks, or he's taunt or something, or I really didn't know what to think of this situation. But he either made some sort of godly read, or he made like the dumbest play of his life. Like I think it's A or B. I don't see a mid ground there, but regardless, what's done is done. He magic coded as I go into my Swampert, and now I'm in a very awkward position where I have to boom, where I have to switch out because he's gonna click boom, because I have to mega turn 1. God bless that rule. So I have to go back into my Klefki now, take the explosion, and I have no idea what that 4th move was, and I'm very curious. I spike up on the Victini to sort of sack it, and he goes for Trick Room. And I'm like, oh, cool. Okay, Trick Room means he's missing coverage. So what coverage is he missing? I'm going to Toxic it to sort of... I'm expecting him, like... Of course I would switch out to one of my 1, 2, 3, 4 fire resists when I'm in front of a Victini under Trick Room with my Klefki. So I just Toxic it. He bolt strikes and I get parried, so that's lovely. But I do call him right, and here I'm like, alright, so he's physical, that means he doesn't have Glaciate. I'm just gonna go hard chomp, as he beat creates this time, and I look like a lord. And so 2 turns left, I'm gonna click Protect, just reveal it now, just in case he is mixed with Glaciate, and he just V creates again. Here I decide, alright, now's a good time to sack my Klefki. It's not going to do anything this game. It's too low to really handle anything on his team anymore. And, alright, misplay time. This is my first kind of misplay of the game. And it's really small. This is actually the turn that I took the most time thinking about, because I was trying to figure out what I wanted to send in to kill the Victini, because that determined what came in response. I could have went Pelican, but that would then bring in something like Sharpedo or Roserade, and neither of those were very pleasant, especially if I was locking myself into Hydro Pump. Audino could also come in and start wishing things up, and that's not very fun. I could have went Pelican and U-turned, but that was a roll to not kill even at -2 on the V-create, or -3 or whatever I ran the calc. It was a roll to kill, and I didn't want to risk that roll and die to a random Bolt Strike. Option 2, Swampert. I can go Swampert, but then that baits in the Roserade, and that's no bueno. I can go Galvantula, but that gets hazards damage, and I don't want hazards damage on my Galvantula because Galvantula lives a modest T-Bolt or a modest HP Ice or a modest anything. It doesn't live a Z move, and it doesn't live any like a Specs hit or something, or like a super effective hit, but I'm not expecting him to have super effective coverage for Galv unless he's Z-Fly. So it lives any modest neutral hit at 50%, and that sort of percentage is very important because it lets me come in twice on rocks. Other option is going to Garchomp. Garchomp baits in the Shark, and that's also a problem. So, what are my I could also go Keldeo. Keldeo baits in the Thundy, and suddenly we're back at square one. It also baits in the Rose if it's Spadef or whatever. So, this was a really tough turn. I didn't know what to bring in. I didn't know what I wanted to bait in. And I ultimately decided on Galvantula. I figured that I still have an extra rock switch in. It's still fine. I take 49% max or something like that. I go into my Pelican because I'm Scarfed, and he doesn't know that because I brought it in like this. He goes Rose, and here's where the game becomes something. So I have two main options here. One, I can Hurricane this Roserade. If he's non-Koba, he dies. He's just gone. Scarf Pelican kills this. Option 2, I can U-turn. Because here's the problem with option 1. Let me backtrack a bit. Problem with option 1. I kill the Roserade with Hurricane. He sees that I'm Scarfed. He goes into Thundy. He's Agility. He Agilities up. He wins the game. Bam. Done. Option 2. I U-turn. And I U-turn out into, say, Garchomp. Predicting HP Electric or Grass Move or whatever. It's just spikes. I go into Garchomp and I click EQ, and then either he stays in and lets his Roserade die, or get whittled, or whatever, because, yeah. Or he goes into Thundy, and then if Thundy comes in, I can attack with Stone Edge and force him into a 50-50. He might think I'm Scarf. He might not think I'm Scarf because I show Protect, but he might think I'm Yachi. And so he has to switch, and then I get more chip damage, and damage, and damage, and damage, and I keep the pressure on, and I don't let the Thundy agility. I can go Pert, but that's a lot riskier because he can go for a Leaf Storm here and just flat out kill my Pelican, kill my Pert, kill whatever. Garchomp was the most expendable. That was the one I was most confident in sacking off at this turn. And I'm sitting here thinking, and side note to my excuse right here, I was super exhausted from like the gym, and I should have Johned this game because I was not mentally ready for this game. I was not mentally ready for how intense this game was going to be. But that's a whole other, that's like past David's issue. Like, I'm not going to excuse, I played poorly. Surprise, I pick option 1. I play poorly, and I could say it's because I was so tired, but at the end of the day, I didn't postpone this game, and I chose to play as I did, so it's my fault, regardless of how I felt I played. So, I'm sitting here, and I'm saying, alright, if I Hurricane here, he goes into Thundy, he agilities, he wins. What are the odds of him being agility Thundy? For some reason, I decide that answer is 0. I'm like, there's no way he's agility Thundy, and then he hard Thundies, and I'm like, oh, I lose, and then he agilities, and I'm like, yeah, I definitely lose. Let's hope for a confusion. I don't get one. He Thunderbolts my my Pelican. I go into my Galv. I know I'm faster than him, and I really debate. Here's the problem. If I didn't go into Galv on the Victini, I could have hard switched out into Garchomp and sacked it off here, because I knew full well that the only way he kills my Galvantula is with a Z move, and I should have doubled, but at the same time I couldn't double at this point. At this point it was done. Like, I couldn't double out because I was too low. I couldn't come back in and take a normal Thunderbolt. But if I was at 50% the second time, like if I switched out here, came back in, and I was at 50%, then suddenly, ta-da, I'm out of range. I could T-Bolt, and then whatever's left on my team can 1v1 the Audino just fine. Or the Sharpedo, because Keldeo beats Audino and Shark 100%. I just need this Thundy dead, and that's why I'm calling my Victini play a misplay, because I didn't prioritize health on this in case I decided to fuck up and let the Thunderous Sweep set up. And so he goes for the Z move. It's Gigavolt, Havoc, whatever. And here I have to go into my Garchomp, and I could have been Yachi, and it was a roll to live. It was a roll not in my favor, but it was a roll to live. If I was a Yachi Berry Garchomp. But I don't think that was misprep, in more so that it was just unfortunate, I guess, that the game ended up the way it was, where if I was Yachi, it would have played out better. But here I am. Yeah. So I'm not Yachi, and I died to the Hidden Power Ice. I have to go into my Pert, and I have to hope that for some reason he's not Grass Knot. But of course he's Grass Knot. And then I go into my Keldeo, who's Payapa and not Wakan. If I was Wakan, it would have been sick, but it would have died the same way Razor's Thundy died. But yeah, there goes the game. Good game to Rob. He played it really well, for the most part. Like, he saw his opening with Thundy and he pulled the trigger, and it won him the game, obviously. I'm still really confused on the Azelf play. like super confused. Like my mind is still boggled. I don't know what he was thinking, and I didn't even bother asking him. I'll just see in his side of the video. But anyway, I hope you guys are having a wonderful week. It's Labor Day week. It's Labor Day weekend this weekend, so hope you guys are having fun. I will see you guys next week with more NPL stuff. I believe we play Mr. Murkrow. Our record is currently 2-5, so we pretty much have to win out from here to sort of guarantee to sort of get into playoffs. So hopefully we win next week, and yeah, I'll see you guys then. Peace.